Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to properly set up Livesplit. I'll be using Titanfall 2 as an example game, and yeah, so let's get started. So on the right here, this is what you're going to want your layout to look like at the end. I'm going for the challenge mode for Titanfall 2, and on the left, this is our blank Livesplit slate. So let's get started by editing our splits. If you already have your splits, you can just open your splits here from file URL or wherever else, but I'm just going to go ahead and edit splits. So in the splits editor, we can find our game. So I'm going to do Titan. Go ahead and find the game, set that, run category. For this example, I'll be doing the challenges category, and I want to make sure that load removable is activated. So it should say deactivate, and it'll have a settings thing where you can actually click on it. If I were to do that, then it's like that. So go ahead and add the splits name. So these can be in any order, depending on how you wanted to do it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do beacon 2, insert a new split, then insert a new split below. Alright, so now you've got your splits added in. Now let's set up the layout properly. So I'm going to go to edit layout, and right now, as you can see, all we have is a timer. We don't actually want to use the regular timer, we want to use the detailed timer, which just shows a lot more information. So we've got our detailed timer, we have our splits, we have our, let's see, where else? We have our title. And then you can move these around by either doing this, or you can just drag it, and then like that. So I also want to add in possible time save, current pace, and previous segment. That's just kind of personal information, or personal preference rather. You can do whichever one you want, so I'm going to add all 3 of these in. I've already added that. All 3 of these in. And there I go. So yeah, so that's looking pretty good. If you want to change the size, you can just go here and then make it wider or taller or whatnot. So I'll just leave it at that. So for layout settings, for this page, what I did is I made this completely transparent. I think it just kind of looks a little bit better. For the fonts, this is where you choose your font, like your font and your font size. So as you can see, it's so timer, times, and text. So that's timer, times, and then text. So I've got Century Gothic. That's what I use for anything with a time. I use regular, and then for any text, I use italic. And then you can just choose that here, and so that's also where you choose your font size. If you want to use rainbow splits for gold, you just click that here. I just use gold. I'm boring like that. Moving on, there's not really anything that you have to do here. One thing you can do is show finish runs count. So as you can see here, the number on the left is how many runs you've actually finished, and the number on the right is how many runs you've attempted. So every time you start a run, this number goes up. Every time you finish the last split, this number goes up. And then you can display name and category in a single line if you want to. I don't, because I don't have enough room on my split, and so yeah. For the splits, since we are doing a 3 segment category, I just do 3. Just leave it at that. It looks better, looks nicer. And then this is where I can change my split height. It's just kind of personal preference on how tall you want your splits to be. One thing that you probably should do is make sure that always show last split and lock last split to bottom are both checked. It doesn't matter for this since we've only got 3 segments. But if you had, say, 15 segments, but you're only showing 7 splits like I do for the main run of the game, then it's helpful to have that final level always showing, since that is your final time. You don't have to change anything else in this section. Just know that you want to keep these 2 columns the same. This column is your first column, so it's going to go right here. It'll actually cut off the words, but that's fine. And that shows your delta, so like how your current run is comparing to your old personal best. So it shows whether you're ahead, behind, how far ahead, how far behind, stuff like that. And then the second column is just time, so it literally just shows your time for each segment, and that's cumulative time. So this is my final time for the run. I didn't take 11 minutes to finish Blood and Rust. So I think I accidentally changed something there. Yeah, but you gotta be careful when scrolling. I believe I had split time? I'm pretty sure it's split time. Yeah, you gotta be careful scrolling in this section, because see, it changes stuff like that, and it's really easy to mess it up. Detailed timer, you don't have to change anything. The only thing that you can change if you want is the height of the timer and the segment timer size. So this second timer is going to be the timer for each individual segment. For example, as I'm running through, so let's say I finished Beacon 2 with 2:43. So both of these timers would show 2:43. I go on to the next level, and this top timer would keep going from 2:43. It increase up until 6:13 when I finish that, but this timer would reset back down to 0 and then go up from there. So you don't need to change anything here unless you just really want to, besides height and segment size. Everything else is just changing color, accuracy, and stuff like that, so you don't need to do that. And yeah, that should be pretty much it. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments down below, or you can find me on Twitch or the Titanfall Speedrunning Discord. I'll put links to both of those in the description below. Thanks for watching.